Hey there guys, welcome, this is EKo CBG, and welcome to a brand new overDress reveal stream recap. So for those of you who missed it, we did stream this over on twitch.tv/EKO_CBG alongside my fellow Cardfight Con co-hosts, Nara Samurai and Greg, aka GD Plays Games, as well as our good friends over at Top Deck Heroes. Shout out to Alex and Philip, great guys, as well as Sean, who did make a cameo, aka Winning Image, of course, the granddaddy of the entire event. So, quite frankly, I am personally so far. Well, actually, you know what? No, we'll go back over this. We'll go back over my my thoughts towards the end. So, as the name implies, this is a very new age for Planet Cray. Of course, having gone from its prior 6 nations to a brand new Magic the Gathering-esque 5-color system, where our 24 clans have managed to split themselves, or rather merge, into 5 separate nations. So, speaking of the nations, on screen you can see what the new state of it being is. So, effectively, in canon, this takes place about 3,000 years after the original protagonists of Vanguard and the G era defeated Gizeh at the climax of GZ. And with its defeat, of course, with its life being linked to Messiah, as Giz disappeared, Messiah went into a deep slumber, effectively leaving Cray without a god, plunging it into chaos. So we tend to find ourselves in a world where everything is suddenly saved by a strangely surviving dragon empire, who found a holy sacred egg of sort that has yet to hatch, and its protection of it has yielded it kind of immense influence in the world, which obviously, as we go on, I think our protagonist is going to end up awakening, but we'll see how that goes. So we can see all of the former United Sanctuary has transformed into the newly found Key to Sanctuary, which is effectively just what all Sanctuary is, except it's now ruled by a Dalaran-like city in the sky. Dragon Empire somehow survived its own purge. It's Dragonic Overlord, the Purge, if you get what I'm saying. And with its control of the egg, seems to have regained or maintained its power and influence. In fact, if you look at the maps, it's actually grown a little bit in size, so it's actually taken over some territory here and there. Stargate, I'm going to be interested to see how that works out, but they effectively have transferred to the Brant Gate. Of course, to us Link Joker players, this is setting off alarm bells. But I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with it going forward, because we did see in our reveal stream, we did see a little glimpse of what is potentially a new Photon and Chaosbreaker Dragon, which is very, very exciting. But moving on to Dark Zone, and Dark Zone is always something we're going to revisit later on when we're going to look at the trial decks that are going to be coming out alongside this, since according to the lore, the hero of Gear Chronicle, who's we're guessing is Kronja Dragon, obviously with Gears coming from the future, Kronja managed to calm down the internal conflict within the Dark Zone, transferring into the Dark States. So it's a bit more humane now. But with his demise, allegedly Gear Chronicles also lose their ability to time travel, which is of course a huge load of news for us Gear Chronicle players, because it's kind of going to be very interesting to see how the clan plays going forward, since so far its thing has very much been kind of toying with space-time. I know, jumping into the future, going back to the past, kind of jumping forward and back throughout the game states. And the one nation that really is kind of a huge change is, for the first time, Megalonica and Zoo Nation. So this is Great Nature, Neonectar, Mega Colony, Aquaforce, and Grand Blue are all merging into the new Stokia Empire, or Stokia nation, which is going to be, as you can tell, kind of a mix of the two. Although so far we've seen no mention of Aquaforce at all, and Grumble makes a bit of what I think is a cameo in the trailer, but it's in the form of like a kind of a weird zombie and like obese ghosty. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in that going forward. And Bermuda is staying as its own clan in its rightful place. So I think if we start cycling through what we've been offered, what we've been revealed, of course, it's starting with the brand new Nirvana, which I believe is the egg having hatched. I think it's going to be our new main character's kind of trump card for the time being. And you'll see that, as the screen points out, the big change is that the clan marks have now been changed to nation marks, and that the V icon became a D icon. Under new regulation, that effectively tells us that the new cards that will be able to be used during the D or overdress format, or D era of the game, are strictly those with nation notation or nation marks. Of course, going down, the only thing to pay attention here is, of course, the cards look absolutely beautiful, look absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to own these. But I think the thing to note there is this little icon there. This little icon there, which I believe translates to Persona Ride. Now keep in mind, this is being recorded prior to the Dr. O stream, so we're not sure if that's maybe revealed later on. If that's revealed later on in the day, I'll be sure to release another video, keeping you guys updated. But at the moment, we're not quite sure what that is. But moving on, of course, with a new era, you might think, what's happening to the game? What's happening to our old formats? We currently have Standard and Premium. What's happening to those? Well, a few things are happening. So instead of Premium Standard, it will be renamed to Premium, but stays exactly the same. It is still clan-based and contains all the new and the old cards. So it's still based on the 24 clan system, introduced all the way back 10 years ago with the original Cardfight Vanguard. Now, what we now call Standard is soon going to become what's called V Premium. So it's going to include only the cards with the V icon, so effectively what we now consider to be Standard. And it's going to be supported biannually, so twice a year, or semi-annually, I guess they both mean the same thing, twice a year with a Standard collection, or V collection, as it's called. Of course, as well as any appropriate promos. The interesting thing is going to be whether it's going to be a premium collection style set or more a clan selection. So I'm very much rooting for the latter. But we have been confirmed to be getting new Tetra Drive and new Raging forms, which is very, very exciting. And I actually can't wait to play with those and see what happens with those going forward. And the brand new Standard is going to be nation-based as opposed to clan-based. And it's going to be only featuring the cards with the D icon. So this is also, of course, going to only feature new booster packs. Of course, several of each nation every year, as well as any newly made promo cards. And according to Bushy Road, nation and shop tournaments will continue to be held for all three standards. If you ask me, I'm going to guess that throughout, within a year or two, they're going to try and phase V Premium into Premium, much like they did with G, I think was it G Standard back in the day when Viera first came out. Of course, that got phased out into Premium, so I'm guessing this will be a similar situation, because I really don't see them being able to maintain three formats. But we'll see. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong here. I'm going to see the game flourish because I'm very excited. Spoiler alert, I'm very excited by the announcements. Also, moving on, as I said, the rethinking rarity. Meaning VR's gone. Back to G era, we have maximum rarity of triple rares. Now, there is going to be a new H or holo rarity, which is just going to be a foil variant of either rare or common cards. Effectively meaning if you want base rarity, it might actually be cheaper for you, because those who want max bling decks are probably going to have to buy a little bit more product, kind of shouldering the cost of the game for us, as well as the DSR, the Dress Secret Rare, which is going to be a 1 per box, kind of ultra valuable card as they describe it. Each booster will have one rare, ultra valuable card. As for what those are, how they look, we're guessing they're going to be some sort of old reprint, maybe, like a special rarity, but we'll see. We actually don't know at the moment. What we do know, and we'll get around to that later, is with the booster coming out, if this trend continues, each booster will have 2 triple rares for each nation, as well as 3 double rares for each nation, and 120 cards in total, which might seem like a lot, and to be honest, it sort of is, but you have to keep in mind this is spread across 5 nations, as there are no longer clans. Every nation gets support every set, which is huge, because it means no longer will there ever be a situation where you play a clan like Mega Colony, Tachikaze, Spike Brothers, you get your support once a year, you cross your fingers and you pray to Geese, or Messiah in this case, because he's asleep, he's not helping you. Also, moving on, of course, we'll be looking at something they call Guaranteed Ride. Now, the most important thing is, as you can see at the bottom, only applies to standard formats, so not V Standard and not Premium Standard. Now, I suspect this is in an attempt to prevent any sort of shenanigans, but for me, what screams to me is the ability to avoid or cheapening Ultimate Stride. Because when something comes up later, you can easily see how cards like Ultima can perhaps exploit it. But the way it functions is you take 4 cards from your deck that you select, which is imperative. You put them in a separate ride deck, placed right next to your deck, and each turn, if you can't ride up, you may choose to discard a card, and simply pick a card out of that ride deck and ride it. Now you might think, okay, so guaranteed ride, what does that mean? Well, it actually means a lot, because it means, first of all, you can never break. Second of all, it means you don't actually need to ratio your deck properly. because you're guaranteed your rights. So that opens the deck a lot more to toolboxing, which I think is going to be a fascinating change to deck building, and I'll be really interested to see how deck design changes going forward, especially given this is something to be strictly for standard. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever do phase that into other formats, but at the moment I don't think they're going to. At least certainly not in the near future until we see what's happening with that. Also, this of course also means that at least in standard we no longer have assist or G assist, since obviously we can guarantee it, so there's no reason to search top 5 for it. Of course, speaking of exploiting, we're looking at the new seemingly iffy trigger known as the over trigger. Now, it's limited to 1 per deck. And the thing to pay attention that's, I think, quite impressive here, or important, is that we don't see any clan icons, or any nation icons. In spite of the fact it has a whopping 50,000 shield, which is unheard of, as well as, oh yeah, a tiny little 100 million power gain, which is ridiculous, especially when on drive check they activate an extra effect, and on damage check it quote, resists the damage source, which I believe, if I recall correctly, functions effectively as a PG and an end your opponent's turn, because they can't hit over that. There ain't no trigger, other than this, that gives them that power. We're not quite sure how the ruling functions yet, but I believe this one's ability was effectively to end turn, or give its ability to something. I can't remember, but I know they are removed from play once used. At least that's our understanding of it so far. Of course, any sort of news updates coming out in the future, I will keep you guys posted. Following up, we're obviously looking at the anime announcement. Of course, the character design being done by Clamp. So those of you who have watched Code Geass, I'm actually very, very looking forward to this. Very excited about this. It's looking really cool so far. Like, really cool. And down here, you can already see our best girl. Because as we start scrolling forward, you can see a little bit of a synopsis. And you can see that we are getting 5 trial decks. Now, in JP, they're getting the first 3 on the day that the preview episode, the day after the first episode goes live. So first episode goes on early viewing on the YouTube on March 24th, so this comes out on March 25th. And for us, this comes out on May 14th, but we get them all together. Since the series restarts on April 2nd, I believe, and the last 2 decks come out on April 3rd, I believe, in Japan. So we're getting them all together on May 15th, or May 14th, rather. Obviously, each character is going to have a nation, which means if you buy everything, you are going to have a starting deck for all nations. And if this stays like the V starter decks, where you get 4 of everything, this is going to be absolutely incredible. Because the next frame is the price. And the price I guarantee you're not ready for. So we're looking at Yu Yu Kondo, who's playing Holy Dragon, obviously on the Dragon Empire. So he's our protagonist, probably the one with the Nirvana Dragon. Danji Momoyama, who I believe is the leader of the group that kind of meets up in that park to play Vanguard. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with him. As DF mentions, it does look a lot like his avatar. But the thing that attracts me the most is, of course, in Gear Chronicle, we know the rivalry between Chronofang and Chronojet. And in the absence of Chronojet, with his alleged death, we might think to ourselves, okay, well, what happens to his rival? Well, given his deck is called the Tyrant Tiger, I'm suspecting we might see a bit of a resurgence of Chronofang, though, or at least Chronofang loyalists. So I think that'll be super interesting to see what happens there. Toya Abata playing Apex Ruler. I believe it's going to be some sort of like Shadow Paladin Dictator deck. We'll see how that plays. I'm guessing it's going to be like the pretty boy of the group. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with him, though. And moving on to the girls, we have Mega Miyokura, who's playing Stoichia. Obviously being the new... I'm going to keep calling it the Grey Nature clan, even though it isn't. Focuses on multi-attacking, so I think it is very much going to be taking over that Excel playstyle. And finally, the undisputed best girl of the new era of Vanguard is Tamari Seto. No relation to Kaiba, I promise, I swear. Please don't sue me, Konami. Who will be playing the Brant Gate. So you're telling me best girl is also playing Link Joker? Yes! Feels good. So I'm excited. I think you might remember I mentioned a few minutes ago the price. Yeah, so that might be important because the price is $4 each. So if you get a playset of everything for $4, this might become the most accessible trading card game in the history of trading card games. Because it means for under $20, you could end up with a baseline for every single deck in the game. Which is huge. Like, I cannot actually describe how huge that is. And of course, if you guys are looking to get into the game or know somebody who might, please do consider checking out our sponsor, Golden Phoenix Games, links to which will be in the description below. And you can use promo code EKo at checkout to let them know we sent you, which obviously helps support the channel and the stream. So I think going forward, we're going to have to see what else they have got to go for us. I think that's sort of it at the moment. Of course, we've got the anime promotion, but we've got also, if we can find the actual set, I wonder if we could actually find the set. Of course, we've got this beautiful, beautiful wallpaper. If you guys want to check out the VODs, you would understand how excited we got as they started revealing all the characters appearing here. I think it is a really nice send-off to the cast, since this does take place 3,000 years later. We're expecting none of these guys are going to make a cameo, but to be fair, if you ask me, given the Gear Chronicles still exist, I would imagine at some point their power is restored, and we will be seeing some sort of cameos from the past, and I think I'll be very excited when that does happen. But our set is, I believe it's Genesis of the Great Five, I believe it's called, and I'm very excited about it. So we should be getting on May 14th as well, I believe. And this unit looks absolutely gorgeous to me. So this is a Dragon Empire unit. But this looks like somehow if Victor was a Narukami unit. This looks absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to see more. And bear in mind, in a short period of time, we should be getting the Dr. O stream. And any sort of upcoming updates, I will be bringing right to you guys. So I want to say, guys, thank you very much for watching. I ask if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share it with your friends, and let me know what you would like to see us cover in the next series or the next episode. If you ever guys want to check us out live, we are on twitch.tv/EKO_CBG, or follow us on Twitter at EKoCBZ. So guys, I want to say for a second time, thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.